I'm pretty sure this is an oxymoron. Niche fragrances that smell mainstream. How is that possible? Now, I'm not going to spend these first few minutes describing how I define niche. I do have a specific definition of niche at this moment in 2023. If you ask me next year, maybe it'll evolve even a little bit more. It has evolved over time, but there have been some through lines. I'll save you some time. Watch my top 10 most worn niche fragrances of all time that I just recently did. In that video, I describe and define niche in my own perspective. In a nutshell, I think we can all agree that niche fragrances are intended to be different from mainstream. So to have niche fragrances that smell mass appealing,
that's funny.
But it is a thing. Now, if you're asking me, I would not call any of these fragrances niche fragrances. I know that is where the uproar will begin. Start it down in the comments if you disagree. At this point in time, I choose to assess niche versus mainstream on a fragrance by fragrance basis. Now, yes, all 7 of these fragrances we're talking about today come from niche brands. They come from brands that are known to only make fragrances, and they come at a very high price, which is also pretty typical of niche, but not always the case. However, how do they smell? They don't really smell different. In fact, they smell comparable to some designer mainstream fragrances out there, which is why I deem them mainstream. I'll be honest with you guys, and again, I know a lot of you will disagree with this. Niche fragrances that smell like designer fragrances are more unappealing to me than niche fragrances that don't have strong performance.
Hey yo, what the?
Some of you are in disbelief right now, and I'm happy about that because it's making you think. If it's not clear already, on this channel, I care way more about scent. What does the scent convey? Is it something relatively new and unique? Are they at least intending to do that? If not, and it comes at $150 plus price tag, and a lot of these are more expensive than that, you might as well get a designer fragrance. Unless you're just balling like that, then tell people that you spent more. That's conspicuous consumption at its finest. However, maybe I'm a hypocrite because I have all of these, but we're gonna talk about them. I have 7 fragrances. Now, I'm not gonna say I hate them all. In fact, many of them I really enjoy. One of them I'm wearing right now, but I cannot lump them into what I call niche fragrances. They're expensive, mainstream fragrances. I'm not gonna put that title in the video because no one's gonna click on that. Let's dive right into it. In no particular order, my scent of the day, coming from fragrance Dubois, Solstice. And I was expecting something different and special about this fragrance. Ultimately, it's not different nor special, but it is very nice. It's very pleasant. This is only my first or second time wearing it, to be honest. And what I get out of this is this musky, sweet mandarin orange freshness. There's a little bit of a soapy, clean quality overall to the scent from some neroli, and it even gets a little bit sweet and warm like a vanilla as it dries down. But all in all, it's fresh, spicy, musky, slightly sweet citrus. And I couldn't tell you if it smells exactly like anything else I've tried, but it smells like several other things I've tried, just picking a little bit from each one. Very nice, does not smell like the price tag if I'm honest with you, but I do recommend you get a sample if that sounds good to you, because again, it is pleasant, it is gonna get good feedback. It doesn't smell cheap, but it doesn't smell special either. That is Solstice from Fragrance Dubois. Let me know if you've tried this one. Honestly, this is one of my absolute favorites from Parfums de Marly. However, I consider it mainstream. Again, that's not a bad moniker. We're just being real here. This is Sedley. And I'm gonna be even more real with you guys. Every single one of the fragrances I'm talking about in this video, I have received for free. Yeah, I haven't bought any of these myself. However, I'm just being honest with you guys. This is how I feel about fragrances like this. Again, I'm not saying don't try them. I'm not saying they're not worth it. I'm not saying they're bad, but spade as a spade. Sedley is, again, very pleasant. This is kind of a blue scent in a way. It does kind of smell the way that it looks. It has this very, very fresh, juicy, citrusy, kind of crushed sugary vibe. There's this almost crushed sugar texture to the sweetness, almost like coating a juicy mandarin orange. You just freshly sliced it, coating it in sugar, but it's still quite fresh. It's a little minty, and there's some musks floating around in there. There's a part of it that doesn't smell overly natural, but doesn't smell bad at all, and it actually does help it to stick around longer. This is one of my summer staples on a day when I don't know what to wear, and on a day when I need a little bit more longevity, above average performance that's totally functional. I will definitely consider this as a great option for that. Parfums de Marly, Sedley. From the house of Roger Parfum, nothing new. This is Elysium. Yes, I do consider this to be a mainstream smelling fragrance. Now, as with many of these, there's a high quality to how it comes together. There is thoughtfulness in the composition. However, the overall face of the scent, when you back up from it, what does it smell like? Something completely new and niche and $200+ worth? There's other fragrances you can buy that are cheaper that will give you a similar effect, but it does smell luxury. I have to give them that. This is kind of this citrusy, musky, woody, herbal scent. I get a lot of grapefruit in here. I get this fresh, cooling juniper berry. There's almost a dustiness to the scent profile, almost like a dusty, nutty quality. I can't really explain it. Some of you might know what I'm talking about. That kind of just fills out the fabric of the scent. There is some rub to it. There's some friction. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I'm doing my best here to describe a scent through your screen. Kind of weird, right? Elysium is nice. It's good stuff. I used to wear it a whole lot more than I do now, but it is a great contender when I just want something easy to wear for a few hours. Good stuff. I was a little underwhelmed by this. I was expecting more. I was not expecting this to remind me of another fragrance, which it does. And in fact, there's another one on this list that reminds me of the same fragrance. You probably know what fragrance that is, but this is Gladiator from Soradora. And I was not expecting this to smell like kind of a blue minty Aventus. Shower gel-ish, minty fresh Aventus. Not quite as much woody depth or mossiness or anything like that. And not really anything fruity and sweet and bright. It's really pleasant. It has good performance. That's fine. But after a couple hours, I'm done with it. It doesn't capture my interest anymore. Yes, other people around me will like it, but that's not where I'm drawing my validation. That's just me. Gladiator from Soradora. Here's another one that is known to resemble Aventus. Some people disagree and they say they don't get any of it in here, which is strange to me because it's written all over the scent, but mixed in with a little bit of this blue shower gel kind of freshness. It might sound just like Gladiator, but it is different because there is an overtly fruity quality here. From Bois number 9, this is Scent of Peace for Him. Frankly, it smells good, performance is decent, but it just gets flat. On my skin after a few hours, again, I'm bored. I need more. I want development. I want some more interest. I want more dimension as it dries. This reminds me of a designerized Aventus, if you can imagine that. Pleasant, but not really worth the price if you're asking me. But if you're just looking for pleasant, then this is one to consider. But sample first. Again, it's expensive. Bois number 9, Scent of Peace for Him. Now, admittedly, this is one of my wife's favorite fragrances for me to wear because we have some great memories tied to it around the time when we started dating. I was wearing this quite a bit because I was playing it safe. I didn't know what she was going to like, what she was going to dislike. I wanted to make a good first impression. And I had already enjoyed this stuff. That's why I wore it. But I was pretty sure she would enjoy it too. And she really enjoyed it. From Parfum Marley, yet again, this is Percival. This is fresh, musky woods. Smells a little bit like Mont Blanc Legend, a little bit like Abercrombie & Fitch Fierce, but with a little bit higher quality and better performance. If that sounds great to you, sample it. But all in all, again, you back up, you look at the face of it. It does kind of smell like an Abercrombie store. It will remind you of that, at least it reminds me of that because I grew up walking through Abercrombie stores and not buying anything because I just don't really like their clothing. Anyway, Percival, yeah, nothing new here. If you're looking for a solid freshie that lasts a long time, you'll find it here. But for the price, I'm looking for something more special. And finally, this one is a little bit controversial. I was highly disappointed by this fragrance. I was so underwhelmed. There was so much hype. I think there still is, saying this will melt panties. They will disintegrate, not drop. They will literally disappear. Their matter will cease to exist. That is the talk I've heard about this fragrance. If any of you can attest to that experience, let us know in the comments. And you're probably a warlock. Vibrato from Sospiro. This is a bona fide luxury clone of Bulgari Tigar. I think it's a little cheaper. If not, maybe it's comparable. I didn't look at the pricing beforehand, but I think they're comparable. I think you're paying at least $200, if not at least $250, if not at least $300 for this. And no, I can't condone it. It's so one-dimensional. Does it smell great? Yes. Will it get you compliments if that's what you're looking for? Yes. But as I say, at this point in my journey, I'm beyond the cheap thrills of just getting compliments on my fragrance. I don't need other people to give me permission to feel good about who I am and how I represent myself. I do that myself by wearing fragrances that I love and that move me. Again, that's just where I'm at in my journey. No shade to you, wherever you're at. But if you're looking for value, if you're looking to spend your money on something that's worth it, I can't say this is worth it. It's the simplest kind of musky, powdery, woody grapefruit. If you like Tigar, you'll like this. If you have Tigar, you don't need this. In fact, I would recommend, if you love this scent profile, which is, it's fine to me, but it's just, again, after a few hours, I'm like, next. Spirit of Kings Arrakis is basically the same. In fact, it's the same perfumer, Christian Provenzano, and it's cheaper. I'm going to link to that down below. I have it. It's just over here. I'm not going to go grab it. But if you like the scent profile, I might recommend that one instead. Now, I'm not trying to just poop all over Sospiro's house, but I can say that most of the fragrances they've been releasing as of late have been just disappointing to me. They smell like other things. Sorry for the rant, sorry for the soapbox. Vibrato smells good, but sample it first. I'll be responsible here. I'm not trying to say don't buy this, don't buy that. Sample it first. It may not blow you away. You'll like it. I can almost guarantee you'll like it, but it may not blow you away, and blow me away has to be synonymous with that price tag of a full bottle. That is Sospiro Vibrato. Okay, that's it. If you're not too offended by this point in the video, I invite you to share your thoughts down in the comments. I by no means was trying to slander your taste. If you love any of these fragrances, again, obviously I have them all. I accepted them all from brands or from stores, and I wear some of them from time to time, but no matter where it came from, you guys know I'm gonna be real and honest with you and try to provide you a balanced assessment. I hope it was clear that I'm saying none of these fragrances smell bad or are bad, but I can't necessarily recommend them at the prices they come at based on what they represent, which is something you can get in a cheaper bottle. Let me know what you think, and thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.